So you're thinking about buying a horse and you have found one, and everybody tells you need to get a vet check to see if this horse will be sound enough or healthy enough for you to purchase. One of the biggest misconceptions out there is that vet checks are a pass and fail. Some people will say, oh, that horse failed that vet check, so I'm not going to buy it. That's a big misconception. Vet checks are nothing more than just information. And depending on what you're going to be doing with that horse, soundness will come into play. For example, you might be looking at a really broke, safe, older horse that's done everything on the trail, and you're looking for a trail horse. And that horse comes back with a vet check that says maybe something's just a little bit off, that if that horse were to be put under a lot of strain and stress, that it would go lame. And so you've got to weigh that in. So just because a horse might have some mild soundness issues doesn't mean that they can't be used in a capacity that doesn't put a lot of strain on them. In fact, sometimes getting a horse moving that maybe has a little arthritis or whatever and walking them down the trail is actually a good thing. It might prolong their life and give them some quality to their life rather than just being out in pasture. And it just depends on what is your need. Now, is that same horse going to go run barrels and stay sound? Probably not. And they call that serviceably sound. Can they be sound enough to do what you want and keep them comfortable at the same time? And so go in to a purchase thinking about, what am I really going to be asking this horse to do? If I'm going to be asking him to sliding, stop, and spin and rollbacks, he's going to have to be pretty sound. So that's going to be a horse that's you're going to want to do a pre-purchase exam that includes x-rays. There's different tiers of pre-purchase exams, and just simple health checks, checking the vital signs, doing some flexion tests to see if they trot off normally, things like that. Or you can get much more detailed and do x-rays. It just depends on what is your need for that horse. There's no point in doing a ton of x-rays if you're just going to ride down the trail. That's not necessary. So keep some of those things in mind, and just understand that pre-purchase exams are nothing more than information. There is no such thing as really a pass or fail. It has to pass or fail your own standard of what you're expecting the horse to do. That's it. And in consulting with your vet and letting your vet know, hey, this is what I'm going to be asking of this horse. In your opinion, in your professional opinion, do you think they're going to hold up to do and be comfortable at what I'm asking them to do? And then you make your decision from there. But just be careful. It's just like humans. We're not all going to be perfect. I know when I sit for a while and I get up, it takes my feet a minute to loosen up, and then I'm good to go. So if I were a horse and somebody did a purchase exam on me, they would see that I'm lame for the first 3 strides every time I get up. After that, I can go run a mile. So it's not a problem for me. It's manageable for me. Sometimes I soak my feet, but I can still do my job, and I'm still comfortable enough to do my job. So kind of think about that. There is no perfect human, and there's no perfectly clean horse. So that would be my recommendation with the pre-purchase exam. And of course, they are very good to get, and I highly recommend them so that at least you start out with information.